This is an exclusive group, but you know what? Torah is not exclusive. That's why God gave it to us at Mount Sinai in the desert, that everybody could benefit from it. So, ladies and gents, regardless where you are, you're all welcome to benefit from our shiur. And of course, it's a whole new format of inside, of in person, and on Zoom, and me taking notes for myself of everything we're learning, so that this could be as interactive and interesting as possible. So just bear with us with our new format, and tell your friends to come join us right here at Chabad House. They can be part of the share, which will be followed by lunch, please God. Pardon? Press got it. Okay, you see, these are things that I'm not aware of as we go. Got it. You got it? Perfect. Okay. So as I said, welcome to meditation from Sinai. And it is a fresh and mentally stimulating interactive shiur here at Chabad, which will clarify the Jewish view of the ancient art of meditation and advances its practice. Now, the course title may sound a little bit like a misnomer, right? Misnomer. When the average person mentions meditation, what are they usually thinking? What do you think of with meditation? The last thing that springs to mind is this Sinai, this religious meditation from Sinai. What's going on? Tradition delivered by Moses. Isn't meditation more of a mental or medical or Buddhist or a Hindu or something else, right? It's usually something related more to the Eastern cultures. Doesn't seem like a Jewish thing. Well, the reality is that meditational practices have been intrinsic to Judaism for millennia. That's the truth. From its earliest origins, from the very beginning of Judaism, as you'll see, the patriarchs of the Jewish people, Avraham and Sarah Imenu, Avraham Avinu, Sarah Imenu, their family, they spent the majority of their days in secluded meditation according to Jewish tradition. And ever since our ancient and rich religious heritage nurtured mindfulness as an integral component to attaining its goal of injecting meaningfulness and purpose into life's everyday practices, into our daily routines, for our greater spiritual benefit, as well as for our physical, material, our health, our success. Many of the wealthy, successful people out there spend a lot of time in mindfulness and meditation. Even happiness is part of a mindset. So Jewish meditation builds on Judaism's classic themes and its unique takes on topics such as divine providence, which we're going to discuss over the next couple of weeks, and God's constant presence in our lives and everything that happens within the material universe. God's not just pie in the sky, not just some spiritual deity and being up there, but God is practically relevant and real right here. And so Judaism's call for deep contemplation is a part of our life. Not everyone's aware of it, but prayer, for example, is an expression in the Talmud, tefillah belo kavana kaguf belo neshama. Prayer without focus, without mindfulness, is like a body without a soul. So meditation from Sinai is developed through these insightful lessons that we're going to be discussing over the coming weeks, that cover a colorful variety of concepts within the conversation of Jewish meditation. It explores the argument that meditation is rightly and profoundly a Jewish practice with ancient roots. And it delves into the purposes and goals of Jewish meditation. These ideas that we're going to be discussing, they include immediate goals that you're going to see and set for yourself every day. I don't want you just coming here and having a nice schluff, or if you're watching us on YouTube or Zoom, this is going to be interactive. I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to take some notes, whether you write them physically or mentally. I want you to set personal goals And hopefully that will help you to see a personal growth from everything that we're discussing. And these include immediate goals such as improving overall well-being. Who doesn't want that? To live longer and healthier. Banishing negative thoughts. Do they ever creep into your mind? Do you ever have sleepless nights where you just can't think properly? Right? Steering our mind towards positive and spiritual reality. And beyond these, its more primary goal is to deepen our spiritual perspective of ourselves, of the world around us, of Almighty God. Now, one major distinction between popular meditation. Welcome back, Lucy. Good to see you. Good to have you back. Let's just think for a moment. People usually think of meditation versus Jewish meditation, which we're discussing. Is that other cultures might employ mindfulness techniques as tools to escape, that allow us to break free from our reality. Right? I want to get out of this. It's sort of, like the guy in shul who the rabbi says, welcome back to earth. You were wherever you were before. Okay, that's why you have transcendental meditation. It's very popular because it's transcendental. Kelvin, the sound worked. Excellent.
Sorry, it's speaking.
Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. I had it on here. You're right. It didn't work.
Because unfortunately, tell myself here, and I always tell him to keep the sound on.
Does he forget?
I think so. Now he's...
Tell him, please, to keep it on a whole day, all week, except for Shabbos.
Okay.
Even Shabbos, it's not going to bother anybody.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay, sorry, you YouTubers. We're a live class as well, just in case you don't see. We are people here live. So, so yes, we have to make sure that we accommodate both the in-person as well as the virtual students. Okay, the Zoomers and the YouTubers. So now, here we're not going to get transcendental. Jewish thought and practice embrace mindfulness and meditation to achieve the very opposite. To inject meaning and purpose into the everyday, into the decidedly non-transcendent, material, corporeal, physical, even into the downright boring. So meditation from Sinai, as this course is called, is a journey. Journey. In my office upstairs, there's a sign, success is a journey, not a destination. Okay, you don't just succeed in life. Life, we're constantly growing. Every day, there's a new goal, a new objective to be achieved. We have to constantly keep growing. Personally, physically, spiritually, financially, Now, successive focused meditations featuring a variety of practical meditation types that allow us to peel back layers of externality and to discover the depths of wonder and meaning hiding in plain sight all around us. They also uncover that wonder already existing within each individual, buried but blazing silently in the depths of our souls. Even while it supplies meditations, Judaism frowns on leaving ideas for the abstract. It's one of my personal problems. I know Kabbalah, I'm saying things that are heretical here. I find with a lot of Kabbalistic ideas, and we're going to delve into Kabbalah here today. But to me, I don't like the mysticism that's pie in the sky or that's abstract and I don't understand it. If I don't understand it, I'm not going to teach it. I want it to be practical and relevant, and sometimes we're going to have to crack our heads a little bit to try to understand certain things. And this is a joint exploration. So if I don't understand it, I'm turning to you, the participants. Maybe you have a better understanding of it. But I don't like when we just go into abstract ideas. You probably all know that famous old joke. Every rabbi's told it 7,000 times. Joke 7486. You know that one already? You can start laughing. Yeah, it's the joke about the rabbi who's shouting at the kids when they walked into the wet cement outside the shul. And the Rebbitzin says, Rabbi, but you're always preaching to the community about the love and care we have to have for children. And he says, yes, that's true. but that's only in the abstract, not in the concrete. See, I told you you can laugh at the one already. You know it. The point is that we don't want it to just be abstract. Just as Moses received God's word atop Mount Sinai, but then descended the mountain to its very base in order to transmit God's message, every lofty realization must be translated into practicality to impact our daily living so that it becomes real for us. And that's why we are going to look at these, yes, meditative thoughts and these meditative thought patterns and techniques that are designed to infuse spiritual understandings into matters as mundane as the food that we eat and the drinks we consume and the work that we do, and even when we sleep. The result is a fresh and empowering view of our world and a practical toolkit for dramatically improving our material and our spiritual well-being. Okay, somebody just messaged me. I see a message that I'm not coming through very clear on YouTube. So what I'm going to try is to take a seat. Let me see if that works any better. If it doesn't, I could always move back here and stand up again. So let me just try that. I'm going to give it a shot. If it works, great. If not, I'm just going to move back to our other pattern. This is all a trial as we're trying to get it right. The in-person versus the in-person and virtual simultaneous. Just for the record, before COVID, we were only in person, and we didn't have the same layout. It was a little bit different. I need my text in order to guide me, because I did not make up this course. This course is part of the Jewish Learning Institute, and we are proud to offer it to you here at Chabad House of Johannesburg. Okay, ladies and gents, with that in mind, let's begin our journey for today. And the first thing is, the term meditation, as you can see on the screen, has many meanings. But in this course, it is defined in its broad sense of the deliberate focus of one's mind to achieve a desired result. Specifically, the study explores the uniquely Jewish role of meditation in Jewish life and in the practice of Judaism. So, over as many weeks as it takes us to go through this, we're going to travel together on a wonderful journey through the fascinating spaces and scenic pathways of Jewish mindful and meditative practices. And we will learn to be more deeply. They say this is much better. Okay, thank you for that. I hope the people here, do you concur? Does it make a difference to you which way I'm situated? All right. That we'll learn to be more deeply aware of ourselves. Isn't that a good thing to do? To be aware of ourselves, not get lost, and to see the world through a richer lens, from a much better paradigm and perspective. So, I hope you'll all be present with me here. I always tell people at Shul, when they make an aliyah, a pledge, they have two choices: presents or presents. We like them both. But the greatest present we can give our loved ones, I believe, is our presence. And so I think for this course, you really need to be present with us and to participate in order to really chap what's going on, to know to be part of our discussion. Now, the course will be built primarily around Jewish meditation, right? Meditation from within Jewish tradition in the context of Jewish life. And along the way, we will explore other related areas of Jewish thought, including spirituality and mindfulness. Now, to be more precise, yet possibly oversimplicit, meditation, as we were discussing, is a practice or technique that can be used in a variety of ways with many different goals. Mindfulness, broadly meaning to be present and aware in the moment. As my son upstairs, who's upstairs here today, who joined me when he was a little kid once, he was talking to me, and I was, I think, a little bit distracted. I don't remember if it was on my phone or what. And he says, "Daddy, but you're not listening." I said, "No, of course I'm listening to you, my son." He says, "But you're not listening with your eyes." Okay, listening is not only with our ears. You have to be present in the moment. Okay, not only physically but spiritually as well. To be aware of the experience, or not aware of the experience, to experience it, right? To go beyond the material world, to be present, physically, mindfully, spiritually. So that's mindfulness. It's that set of experiences that are shaped through meditation, and mindfulness will be discussed at different points in our course. Spirituality is an important part here because a lot of people think of Judaism oftentimes as, I shouldn't say that because I don't know what people think per se, but people often think of mitzvahs, it's all about these commandments and things you have to do. And that's true. But spirituality, the mind, is a very important part of it as well. It's what animates, it's what gives the meaning to what you do. Because the meditations we'll learn are centered on God and understanding Hashem and thinking about God, and that's what we mean by tefillah b'lo kavana kaguf b'lo neshama. Like prayer without a soul is like prayer without meaning, without mindfulness is like a body without a soul. Absolutely. So I'm going to give you a moment, everyone, whether you're with us in person or YouTube, Zoom, Facebook, wherever you are. I want you to think, and better yet, if you could even write down 3 things that you want to gain from coming here. Now, I know, firstly, anyone want to share what your benefits are? What do you hope to achieve? Focus, very good. Okay. Widening, what did you say? Wiping out distractions. Wiping out distractions.
Improve your whole
I would like to learn
Improving
the
your atmosphere.
approach to life.
Pardon, Brian?
I would like to learn to follow the approach to life.
Okay, very good. Someone else here is messaging just something to do. And by the way, I'm proud of that we're able to offer some people something to do, because that is part of what we want this program to achieve. Now, if you're present, if you're with us, then certainly you have more, if you're here with us, then you have more what to do, and your day is added with more meaning and purpose. I don't see Leo in this share today, unless he's on in another, but Leo's always told me this gives him meaning and purpose to get up in the morning, to come here, to be with us. So that's certainly an important part, and I'm happy to hear. Does anyone else want to share anything you want to try to achieve and gain?
To be realistic. To gain knowledge.
To gain knowledge, good.
To be realistic.
To be realistic. Okay. These are all important things. Good. And I hope we could meet some of your expectations, no doubt. I don't think we're going to be doing actual meditations here. We're not going to be on a retreat and, but you could come to my retreat for Pesach if you want to. Just, you get a book and we'll set you up. But we'll be practicing meditation and experimenting with a number of different forms of meditation or ideas behind it. The spiritual technology behind meditation more than actual meditation, if you know what I mean. Okay? And as we'll try to learn about the history and goals of Jewish meditation and the roles that it plays in Jewish life. Again, because a lot of Jewish meditation is content-based, we'll be studying Jewish spiritual ideas that form the basis of various meditations. For now, I will be reading them to you from my textbook, and we'll have to see if there's a way I could put the texts into the PowerPoint so everybody could see them, or to photocopy them from my book, but that takes some time to do, so I haven't been able to do that for you yet. Okay? So in short, we're discussing various aspects of Jewish meditation, and we'll learn the spiritual technology behind Jewish meditation. Hopefully you'll come out feeling that much enriched by the things that you all mentioned. Now in this room, present with us here today, there are probably people with a variety of backgrounds. Anyone here ever tried meditation out? Have you ever taken a meditation class somewhere? Have you ever been to an ashram, a temple, India, Far East? Anyone here ever meditate? Yoga, okay. Have you? So I would venture to say most of us present here have not really tried it. I'll say the same for myself, but it's important that, just to get an idea, we have to discuss what is meditation. Two old friends met for dinner, and one asks the other, "No, how's that husband of yours? Is he still unemployed? COVID?" So the other one says, "No, not anymore." So, well, some good news at least. What does he do now? So now he meditates. Meditates? What's that? I'm not sure, but it's better than him sitting around and doing nothing. Question, everyone. In your mind's eye, I want you to envision a person who's meditating. Okay? If you have a piece of paper, you're welcome to sketch that image. Otherwise, think in your mind. And anyone, whether you're on Zoom or in person, who wants to demonstrate to us what that person looks like? What image came to your mind of a person who is meditating? Cross-legged on the floor or doing this? Okay. A guru sitting on a mountaintop? A laser-focused mathematician trying to crack an equation? Anyone see a chassid praying? Let me tell you a little secret. Whatever you thought of, whatever image you may have drawn of somebody meditating, you're not wrong. Okay? Meditation actually does not have a set image. Okay? It means it could be applied to any image. If you open the dictionary and read the definition of meditation, you know what it says? Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary defines meditate as to engage in contemplation or reflection. Meditation comes from the Latin word meditare. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but if you're speaking Latin, you have to sound, sophisticated. What does meditare mean? To measure, to think, to contemplate, devise, or ponder. There was a kindergarten, a preschool teacher who was observing her classroom students while they were drawing. So she's walking around to see each of the kids work. And as she got to one little girl who was working very diligently on her drawing, she asked her, what are you drawing there? What is that? So the kid said, "I'm drawing God." The teacher paused and said, "Hold on, but no one knows what God looks like, right?" And the little girl says, "Well, now they will." My friends, whether or not you think of yourself in one way or another, meditating, contemplating, scheming, devising, pondering, or whatever all those words are in the dictionary to define this, we're all chronic meditators. Not intentionally per se, but we are. When you dwell on a problem in your life and you allow yourself to sulk in it, you know what you're doing? You're meditating. When you daydream about your upcoming holiday, you're getting excited about it. Guess what you're doing? You're meditating. Very good. We meditate all the time. And I'm sure that we can all think of many more examples of our experiences just today and probably right now. But most of the time, our thoughts slip into a meditation without intending to. The goal of meditative practices is to do it on purpose. It's focused, it's mindful. So, of course, you're wondering, how do we achieve those results that we want? Okay? And for that, we're going to spend 10 more minutes today. I have a meeting upstairs soon, so I'm apologizing to all of you, keeping the intro short, and come back tomorrow for more. But obviously, whatever I said so far, somebody just messaged me that is a generalization. I concur. I'm sorry. Yes, that was a very Very broad way of describing it. Now, whatever your perspective of meditation might be, I'm not negating it. And perhaps if you continue learning with us, you'll see that there are various aspects to meditation. I don't mind anyone, if you have a thought, a counter thought, please don't hesitate. You're welcome to do. Yes, Stephen.
I just want to say that the Hasidim, before they start governing, they spend, I think, an hour on the words and the expression. I think that's also meditation.
Halavai. Stephen mentions, people oftentimes wonder why Chabad shuls tend to daven later than other shuls. I think I'm the latest minyan in Santon. We daven 9:30 on a Shabbos morning. But you could come, and that's if we start on time. Somebody asked me, we had a visitor from Israel last week. He asked me, what time do you start? I said 9, in Hebrew it sounds better. I said, Tesha v'chetzi b'diuk. It means 9:30 exactly. He looks at me, he says, Be'emet? For real? Like you're so punctual? I said, B'diuk is an acronym. It stands for Biz D'Yidin Velenkumen. You know what that means? Till all the Jews arrive. B'diuk. They said a chasar and a yeke. Yekes are German Jews. Germans tend to be very punctual. Although I have to negate that. You and I, Ronnie, were in Germany together 11 years ago for the Lewandowski Festival. You remember? Yeah. We were waiting for a train once outside. It was not on time. We waited for our buses. They weren't on time. I don't know, maybe just because we were dealing with Jews. I don't know which way it was. But I thought, I'm coming to Germany. Everything works like clockwork. Our flight was delayed. The food was delayed. Nothing was as punctual as they make Germans sound to be. Do you remember? Yeah. So, in Berlin, in the hotel, exactly, everywhere we went. Nothing was punctual. Okay, blame it on the Jews. But I will say, the old joke goes that a chassid and a German, a yeke, got married, and the wedding started exactly 2 hours late. Okay, so while meditation can have many different meanings, and I'm answering your question, Craig, in the broadest sense, it is the use of our mind to achieve some sort of result. So I know I'm being very general here because you'll see Jewish meditation is not the same as Eastern meditation, and that's why we're doing this course to show you that it's different. Okay, that's why I'm telling you this. Using this, yes, we could use narrow definitions, but maybe that's just specific individuals. That's what I'm saying. We meditate all the time. Okay, unintentionally you're meditating. Focused meditation, mindfulness, is where you're setting your mind purposefully to something. Okay, with that in mind, and only a few more minutes to go today, meditation is organic to Judaism. Okay, it's an important part of Judaism. And as Stephen mentioned, why Chabad shuls tend to start late is not because we want to have an extra hour of sleep, even though for some people that's an added benefit. The idea really is that we should be spending that hour before prayer learning, studying Hasidic thought, contemplating, meditating on the greatness of God. And thereby, our prayer is at a whole different level. It's got a whole surge of energy. It's uplifted. It's in a whole different plane than if it were just saying words. That's why we start an hour later. Not for that extra hit the snooze button. Okay, on Shabbos you can't hit the snooze button anyhow. And in fact, I want to share the little thought because somebody asked me this question in shul this morning. In the morning we say our brachas, right? We thank God for a variety of things, that we could stand erect, right? That God frees those who are tied, that means we wake up, and all these wonderful brachas that we say in the morning. One of the brachas that this person said he doesn't understand is the very first one. Hanoten lasech vivina lahavchim ben yom uven lela. We bless God for giving the rooster the intelligence to distinguish between day and night, right? Why do we say that blessing? Yesteryear, I understand why a century or two or three, etc. ago, before alarm clocks, you needed it because people would go to sleep at night, and how are they going to wake up in the morning if they didn't have their trusted iPhone? The rooster would crow, and that's how they would wake up. So that's why this blessing was instituted. Very simple. Why do we still say this blessing, this man asks me? I don't know the answer. I'm sure there's some good answers out there. But the one that stands out to me is you listen to the rooster crow in the morning, even though I don't hear it because I'm only getting to sleep now. The rooster it's not just an alarm clock. It has a chiyus, a life, a vitality. For you Americans out there thinking that I'm mispronouncing the word, in South Africa it's called chiyus, okay? In America they call it chayas. And some people watch my shir overseas, they tell me, why are you mispronouncing the word? I said, it's a South Africanism, it's called chiyus. It's an Afrikaans word, right? In Afrikaans it's chiyus. In Hebrew, Yiddish, in Ashkenazic pronunciation, it's chayas. Yeah. So, if you wake up with that excitement, the vitality like the rooster, it doesn't just wake, it makes a song when it gets up. Right? To give me a nice crow. Life to it, vitality, animation. That's what we need. Some people get out of just another day. I woke up at home or at West Park. Where am I? Exactly. Pardon? Absolutely. 100%. And that's the first words we start off with is acknowledging and thanking God. So, with that in mind, we're going to talk tomorrow more about meditation. There's a lot more to talk about it. Just to conclude, we have to realize that meditation is it's organic to Judaism, okay? And it plays an important part of Jewish life and Jewish practice. It can be traced all the way back, as I said this morning in the introduction, to our patriarchs and matriarchs who started our religion. That Avram and Sarah are the ones who taught monotheism to the world. And as you will see, they spent much of their time in meditation. And that's why it is it's a ritualized part of Judaism. Part of our daily prayer is meditation, is focus. Okay? And of course, we'll see how it plays its role in various aspects of Jewish life. And that's why we are talking about it here in our shir, so that we could all get a good understanding of what is Jewish meditation. And why you're not going to the ashram for it, but actually wherever you are, you can do it. But for that, to understand it more purposefully and mindfully, come back right here tomorrow, please God. Mañana, завтра in Russian. But in German, just to quote some German, that my father spent some time in Germany. At the end, after the war, he was in a DP camp called Bergen-Belsen. And there he learned some German, and he used to repeat these words to me. Morgen, morgen, nar nicht heute, sagen alle falulote. You know what that means? Tomorrow, tomorrow, not today, foolish people tend to say. See you, everyone. All the best. Yeah, you have a question before we go? Sorry, just a second. Is there a question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are the Chabad seniors where they used to be?
Yes, we're here at Chabad House. If you want to see, I will put just a second. We'll put it on for you so you can see exactly everyone here. Just a second. Let me just unplug the computer. So here, you see, we're not a full house back here yet. But Brian, your seat is waiting for you. Lots of seats open and welcome, waiting for you. And lunch will be served just now.
Thank you.
But don't come just for lunch. You got to come for the shir, then you can have lunch. Okay, Zach is on. See you all. Cheers. Pardon?